So hello everybody is the first thing to say, and welcome to the Turn It On MIEE programme 2020. The first thing to say is how pleased we are and how excited we are that you are all here and want to be part of it. A couple of housekeeping things before we do start. The first thing to say is that I am recording the call, so hopefully that's okay with everybody. Secondly, we want the team that we have created to be a really safe place where people feel like they can ask anything they want to ask and that no question is a silly question. And we also want you all to be able to feel like you can help one another. So please do feel free to ask questions at any point during the call. However, whilst you are not asking a question, it does probably make sense, like we've just said, for you to be muted so we don't pick up too much background noise. However, it would be lovely to see people's faces so that we can all recognise each other a little bit. So do feel free to turn your cameras on, but you don't have to. So I'm just going to spend 5 to 10 minutes talking a little bit about the programme overall, why it is an exciting time in education and technology at the moment, and then we will get into specifically what we're going to look at today, which is teams and navigating around the team that we've created. We're going to have a fairly quick whistle-stop tour of that, and then we're going to look at OneNote Class Notebook. One of the challenges that we've got is that I actually don't know at the moment what exposure people have had to all of these different apps so far. So hopefully it will all still feel relevant to you. At the end, we've got some tasks that we would like you to do between now and ideally the next session on March the 10th, or if not then, before the session at the end of March. And those things are going to be, just so that you know, installing Teams app on your phone and your laptop, posting something into the discussions tab, setting up a team with you and another staff member in it, creating a OneNote class notebook and distributing a piece of work to a pupil, could be a test pupil, via class notebook. All of those tasks and things I've got on a presentation, which I will put in the files section at the end of this. So you don't need to write that down. You'll see all of that at the end. So the programme overall is designed to help all of you qualify as Microsoft Innovative Educator experts. And at the end of the programme, we hope that you will have created a sway. You'll have learned how sway works for starters, and that you'll have created a sway that you can send into Microsoft that describes all the different ways that you've incorporated Microsoft technologies into your classroom. And in particular, the impact that adding those technologies into your classroom has had. And the way that I'm thinking about the impact of technology at the moment is around 3 or 4 key areas, and these areas we're going to be thinking about all the way through the programme, and they are increasing pupil engagement, creating a more inclusive classroom, reducing teacher workload ideally, and potentially also just starting to think about how learning can take place, not just in the classroom, but outside the walls of the classroom as well. And hopefully there'll be lots of other benefits in addition to those. So in becoming an MIE expert, you will become part of an online Microsoft community that is worldwide, full of teachers sharing fantastic expertise and ideas and resources. You will also get an opportunity. 5 teachers from the UK each year get selected to go to the E2 conference, which is an amazing Microsoft conference. This year is just about to start in Sydney. Next year is in Paris. And you never know, we might be able to get one of you on that, which would be great. But the main reason that we wanted to start the programme is that the mission of Turn It On from when I started the company 15, 16 years ago is to help schools get value for money from their ICT investment. And what we've learned over the years is for schools to really achieve that, they all need a driving force digital leader in the school who will embrace technology, take risks, try things, get excited about the technology, and hopefully inspire the other teachers around them in the school to give those things a go. And that sort of That sort of process really does drive schools forward. So we're hoping that by doing this course, you will become those people in your school. You probably are them already to some extent, but we're hoping we can make that even more true. And we completely recognise that it's incredibly difficult to become one of those people, because it's difficult to find the time for when to learn the technology. The technology is constantly changing and you're all incredibly busy people. So the idea with this program again is to cut out a lot of the not so good content and really focus it on stuff that's already there, that Microsoft and others are already creating, and it's really good quality. Something else we hope that the program will do is flip around the way that technology is often introduced into a school. My background was that I was a primary school teacher. I taught in 2 large primary schools, both of which had spent a fair amount of money on IT kit that just generally sat around not being used. And the reason that we're called Turn It On is because what we're trying to do is help schools to get their IT kit turned on and used. And the reason that it was often not used was, even if it was working, people didn't necessarily know how to use it and were sometimes slightly frightened of it. And what we hope will happen, sort of hope will happen during this program, is that you will potentially get frustrated about what you learn, and are you actually able to do that in your school, because either the technology isn't there in your school, or perhaps it isn't working, or it isn't quick enough. But at least that's the right way round, that we will hopefully be inspiring you to see, actually, that is what I want the technology in my school to be able to do, and then you can go off and buy the right things. And it really is a fantastic time to be doing this. Technology over the last 15 years, I would say, in schools has probably overpromised and underdelivered. Often the tech that schools have needed has probably been too expensive. And really that's all changed in the last couple of years around a couple of key areas in particular. So broadband is now much more affordable. Wireless networks are much more affordable and really good quality. Pupil devices are now much more affordable and really good quality, as well as the cloud technology and the Office 365 suite, for example. So that it really does feel like things have come together in a melting pot over the last couple of years, and the opportunity really is there. So that's a bit of background. On the call, we have got lots and lots of people, which is great. From Turn It On, there's myself, we've got Martin Long, and Martin's going to be delivering the next session. Martin was an ex-deputy head teacher and now is an Office 365 and GDPR specialist at Turn It On. We've got Ellie Wilding, who I think lots of you have liaised with in terms of booking on to this course. And I think we've got some other people from Turn It On, but I can't actually see at the moment. I'm not going to ask all of you to introduce yourselves, because it would probably take the whole of the call to do so. But needless to say, we have got lots of teachers from schools of all different shapes and sizes, small village primary schools through to large inner city secondary schools. So I hope there is going to be something in here for everybody. Right. That's the background. We're going to start just by having a quick overview of our team. And to do that, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully all of you will be able to see this when I've done it. So what we have got here is the team that we have created. And on the left